Welcome, everybody, to the Entrepreneur's Mindset Podcast. I'm Gedaliah Blum, and we are with our co-host, Nathalie Garson. And today, we are talking about having somebody to talk to.
Right. We're talking about...
Which in professional terms is?
Mentor.
A mentor. See,
Yes.
whenever I have a question about professional terms, I always go to the MBA graduate, Nathalie. If you ever want to just talk in very low street terms, that's me. I'm the street guy. Anyway, so we're talking about mentorship, and the reason why we're talking about it is because obviously how important they are, and how we both know how important they are. And there's also a saying in English: a lawyer who represents himself in court is a fool.
Right.
And so why is that? Because a lawyer who represents himself isn't able to see the forest from the trees, the weeds. He's emotionally connected. There's so many things going on in their head that they don't necessarily have a clear perspective of the whole picture.
Right.
So would you agree, Nathalie, that this is the point of having a mentor in business?
Totally. No, totally. And I'm so happy we're talking about this, Gedaliah, because this is, for me, has been a great realization that I couldn't keep on helping business owners and entrepreneurs if I wasn't myself getting someone that I was inspired by, or that I can, consider as my mentor. And I'm sure that you'll agree with me that being an entrepreneur is very lonely. You're faced with your questions by yourself, with your computer, of course you have forums and you have Facebook groups and you have places you can talk, but really it's lonely. You don't get to share your existential questions
Right.
So I had been like that for a long time, and I was also helping other entrepreneurs with their questions and their loneliness, which was taking away a lot from my energy. And then once I decided to get myself a mentor, and I actually raised my standard to aim to someone really, really high with a multi-million-dollar business, because this is what I wanted to aim to, well, my life changed.
What do you think? Let's differentiate for a second. What do you think is the difference between a mentor and a consultant?
Oh, that's a good question. Listen, I think that a consultant is someone that, I have the same question with coach, consultant, and mentor. Like, what are the differences between coach, consultant, and mentor? So to start with the consultant, I think that a consultant has an expertise. And this expertise it could be in business, it could be in selling, it could be in, electricity. It doesn't matter. They have an expertise, and they come with the knowledge, and they can share it with you because you pay them to share that knowledge. And so they're going to come, they're going to do what we do at diagnosis, say, the situation is like this, you need to do 1, 2, 3, and this is my expertise, and this is how much you pay. Right? Would you agree with that definition as a consultant?
Yeah, I agree. It's more of maybe even initially it's strategic, but then it starts really getting to more tactics.
Right.
I think the practical side of doing business, accounting, how to do your books, how to do online marketing and things like that. Whatever it is that you may find that is not a hat that you wear so comfortably, that you see that there's a value bringing someone else in, because you'd rather focus on what you're good at and bring consultants in to work on things that you're weaker at in order to bring yourself up to a higher level.
So it's like an outside help. It's like an outsourcing, if you can say.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And now I would say that in consultants, you have those that only work on the strategic level theoretically. And then you have those who also offer the project, like the execution of the strategy. So, if you're an entrepreneur, make sure that if you only speak to a consultant, they say, okay, this is my solution, now go get someone else to do it for you, that's a solo consultant that's not going to be in the execution phase. So you just have to make sure that, so that's for the consultant. For the coach, I think that the coach is more here to empower you, is more here to get the strength out of you, to get the best thing that you have inside and to get them out, like, just giving birth to something, because you have answers to your questions. So it's like helping you get the answers out so that you will be aligned with yourself.
So you mean like a coach doesn't necessarily need to be in your industry? They don't have to have that experience.
A coach doesn't need to be in your industry, but it needs to be like, I wouldn't take a fitness coach to help you with your business, you know. It's like it wouldn't work. Like, it needs to be a coach that knows how to work with people like you, which are business and, you know, entrepreneurs.
Okay.
But it doesn't need to be someone that has knowledge in your industry. Okay.
Okay. So that calls to question now, what is a mentorship and how is it significantly different than what you would call a coach?
So a mentor, I think, is someone who shows you the way. A mentor is someone who is doing the same thing that you're doing, and is not necessarily, some mentors are not, you know, asking for money. It's like having a mentor because, you know, just have a phone call 10 minutes a week or something. It's a big deal, but it's an inspiring person that is already a few steps ahead from where you are, that you can call up and say, what did you do when you were, you know, in that situation? And it's basically, the mentor doesn't have to be knowing how to be a coach or knowing how to be a consultant. They just have to be themselves. They just have to be.
They need to share their life experience, like you see in these mentorship programs. You know, Big Brother, right? You have a kid. You have these kids that used to be on the streets and used to be in trouble with the law and drugs and gangs or whatever it is that they may be, and then they go and they find somebody who's in that space now, and they become like their big brother, a mentor, to say, like, this is not there's other ways, and I am an example to prove it and hopefully model it.
Right. So what I always say when people want to work with me, I always say I have some coaching aspect of my work and some consulting aspect of my work, because I do have an MBA and I have expertise in a lot of areas in business, but I'm also going to use coaching tools to help you be empowered to make your decisions by yourself. Because I found out that a consultant, sometimes, depending on, you know, what consultant, but a consultant could just say, here, this is the solution, and then go. And then you're left with, oh, but, you know, is it aligned with what I want to do? You know, how am I going to do it? Like all those mindset questions that a consultant is not going to, you know, really approach. So,
but sometimes that's enough also. All right.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely. This is it. You know, you have to know yourself. And also it depends on the areas. Like I would say, for example, online marketing, it's a great area to have a consultant, because there's so much that you need to know that you don't need to learn. I mean, people say, I'm going to learn WordPress to have a website. No, don't waste hours learning WordPress to make your website. Pay someone that, you know, is going to tell you, this is the website that you need, because I'm a consultant and I know exactly where to go to get you this. So I think,
and if you are, and it's, you know, and if somebody is taking 20 hours while they're trying to build a business to learn how to build their website by taking WordPress, that should be a red flag at that point. I mean, the business should be focused on what they're good at and what they're not good at, which especially things that they're only doing once, right? It's not like they're building a website every week. If they need to build a website every week for their business, take the 20 hours and learn it. But
and that means that they have an online marketing business. And if they don't know how to do it, then it's a problem. So like you're saying, either you have an online marketing business and you should know how to do it in your sleep, or it's not the core of your business and you're selling something else, other services. And then why should you, like you said, invest 20 hours in doing that? Because it's just a waste of time.
Right. And so that also calls to question what we spoke about in our last podcast, is when I was speaking with somebody about failure, right? About why are things going so bad, how they're going so bad. And I think that's what a mentor is able to bounce these ideas while you're telling the world how successful you are, right? Because nobody wants to buy or hire from somebody who's not successful, right? You want to create this persona, this energy of success, which is, you know, sometimes you have to fake it in order to make it. And you know, you don't want to be miserable to your clients. They're never going to hire you. But if you have a mentor, you could really just lay it all out there. And that's I think, as the biggest asset for having a mentor, because what they do is they're 20 steps ahead of you.
Right.
You know, ideally, they've been in your shoes before. And so they understand the level of the challenges that you're facing, the obstacles in the road at that time that you're in.
Right.
And they're able to say, wait, Nathalie, listen, I know that you're upset right now. You're not sure how things are going to go, but trust me, everything, number one, everything's going to be good in the end. But this is what I did when I was in your position. And this is what...
That is great advice. That's like worth, so much, because it's exactly where you want to hear it from.
And here's a practical guide on finding a mentor is go through LinkedIn and look at the different individuals who are in your field. Right. Do some research on them. Find the ones in your area and send them an email and say, listen, I'm going to be in your area. I'm in your area, and I would love to take you out. If it's the middle of the winter, I would love to take you out for a bowl of soup. If it's in the summer, how about a nice coffee? Right? It's like, just a 5-minute, like, I'm in your space and I look up to you. And again, what people will generally find is that if you're not selling something to somebody, if you're just asking them for a few minutes of their time, people generally, they feel good about themselves when people look at them and say, you are where I want to be in 5-10 years.
Right.
But the only way for me to be able to do that is to be able to understand you more and to sit down with you for a few minutes and let's meet.
Right.
And I think that's, and I've done that before. And it's really, it's really an amazing, because the 5 minutes that you will get from them turns into 40 in like no time.
For sure, for sure. And I would say that this is a great idea to do it like a one-time, thing, if you have someone in mind that really can be a mentor in a specific area. But if not, you have, and today's technology is amazing for that, because today you have, again, maybe too much, but we should take advantage of all those online programs, all those mastermind groups, all those. And I'm not saying, take them all or, spend so much money on all of them, but it is worth it. I'm here to say that, yes, there is value in having a mentor or having a coach or having a consultant or having a group of entrepreneurs that you can discuss with. It is, I really think that it makes the difference between entrepreneurs who are going to make it past the 5 years or the 10 years milestone and entrepreneurs who are not going to make it. Because if you don't know how to, it's like sports, people that want to be great at sports and they want to really become the champion of whatever they're in, they are going to need to get a coach. They're going to need to have a team. They're going to need to be supported, emotionally, in their mindset, in their strategy, in their ideas, in their resources. Just saying a shout out for, do you know a great graphic designer? Do you know a great, Facebook ad manager?
Well, you know what? Let me cut in and let me disagree with you a little bit on this, because I don't think that the litmus test whether you're going to fail or not in 5 years is whether or not you have somebody that you're working with as a mentor or coach. I think that you'll find a lot of businesses with mentors and coach fail. Number one. Number two, you see that a lot of businesses who don't succeed. But I think that what these people bring in is to make sure. But first of all, they're not a replacement of you, right? They're not going to run your business. They're not going to carry on the emotional baggage that you're carrying on. They're not going to carry on your financial struggles or your investments or your loans or whatever it is. What they're going to do is try to make sure that you are the best business person you could be.
Yes.
So the business person who doesn't have a coach and is successful, think how much more so they would be if they did have a coach. And if those that failed that did have a coach, if they didn't have a coach, how much money maybe would they have hemorrhaged a lot faster and realized that it wasn't for them? And perhaps at some point the coach was part of the decision process of how to pivot and move away from whatever it is that they're doing and to move on to something else.
No, definitely. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. And I will add to that I had also, and it's like going to the doctor. I had also a lot of entrepreneurs that come to me with a very negative attitude in the beginning, or even on the phone. And they're like, well, I had a coach already, or I had a consultant and they did nothing right and blah, 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 going on and on and on about like, why am I supposed to pay for the person that did a wrong job? Like, a few years ago, and, I never trust anymore, no consultant. I'm always, this whole negative attitude. And I get it, you did pay money, you did lose some money probably and time and energy, and you got the wrong advice. And now you're upset at all coaches and consultants and you just want to, you just want to take revenge on all of them. But I want to say it's like going to the doctor. You know, you go to one doctor who is not good, it doesn't mean that all the doctors are going to be bad and you're never going to go to the doctor anymore, right? So,
You know, I'll give a different illustration. I think it's like dating. It's like going out on your
yeah,
first date. It's like
yes,
going out on your first date. You just spend a lot of money on dinner and a movie,
right.
and the girl goes home and like, don't ever call me ever again. And you're
Yes,
like, I'm never going on a date ever again. That's
exactly.
it. You know,
Yeah,
and you get asked out, like, okay, I'll go out with you, but you're paying, because the last time I went on a date, it was terrible.
yeah, it's exactly it. So I even have on my testimonials, I think some of my clients that kept on saying, wow, this is so different than what I had before. But so I'm saying, okay, you know, maybe you didn't have a good experience. Maybe it was someone that was not for you. Like you said, the date is a great example, but don't close the door to more help and to more growth and to becoming a better, just like you said, becoming a better entrepreneur because you had that bad experience.
No, but
So
understand why it was bad. Why was it bad? Why wasn't it a fit?
yeah,
And then you can say, okay, the next time I look for somebody, I have to make sure
yeah,
that, number one, the person is in tune with the industry that I work in, number one. Number two, they're empathetic. They understand that I do have certain considerations that I have to keep in mind
right,
that maybe as a coach, some people would just ignore, you know? Like, you know, I'm speaking to a client right now. I'm working with a client right now, and her storefront it's a very private storefront, no windows open. I said, wow, how about a big mural on the front? So someone walks by, they feel like they're being brought into this open space instead of a cave. And her, you know, that's a $20,000, that's a $5,000 idea. Her considerations are financial, and you know, I can't just make, you know, these decisions based on, so you have to keep in consideration, you have to understand, be in tune with the people, because again, at the end of the day, you're not taking over their business, you're making sure that with the resources they have and who they are, that they're building the best business that they could build.
right. And you know, I like this example of the financial investment because that's an issue that keeps on coming back. You know, I don't have enough money for my business already. How can I afford investing into a mentor or a program or a coach or a mastermind group? Like, you know, it doesn't make sense if I'm trying to, you know, increase my revenue, that I should take some of that revenue and put it into something that is not going to bring me revenue right away, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
so I want to say, and this is about me talking about my experience, that I decided a few months ago to actually invest in myself and in my business, and to be part of a mentorship and a business coaching program that is very expensive. And I'm not going to say the number here, but it's very expensive. It
Like
was
$3 million.
Oh no, come on, not that expensive. But it was expensive in the way that it wasn't, you know, in the programs that I was looking into, you know.
Right,
And
right.
I have to say that psychologically and the way I vision myself and I see myself as an entrepreneur since I made that investment has changed totally. There is
Was it worth it? Is it worth it, the money that you paid?
100%.
What did you think before you started, when you wrote the check or you gave your credit card? Were
I
you
said to myself, this is, I have two options. Either I'm going to continue doing my business the best I could, and it's going to take me 10 or 20 years to get to where I want to go, or I'm going to learn from the best, and I'm going to invest in myself, and it's going to take me much less, if not 50% less of the time. And
so you had complete confidence in this person that you're going to before you even went to them?
well, I did everything that I'm advising everyone to do, which is watching the testimonials, understanding who else in this is in this program, which is very important.
Right.
Understanding what is the type of person that you're going to go to. I knew that I needed someone that had business expertise, but also had what we're talking about in this podcast, which is the mindset approach, right?
Right.
The
Right.
emotional approach, right? Not just making more money, making more money, making more money. I wanted someone that would help me in my personal development, help my business development. And
Right.
now she is a multi-million-dollar business, and she talks about how she's going through difficult times. And every time, you know, I get to see behind the curtain of what is a business owner of a multi-million-dollar business, I get closer to that goal. Now, my
Right.
goal is not only to be multi-million-dollar business, it is the money aspect, but it's also the person that she is. the kind of person in her, the way she talks, the friends she has, the stories she tells, right? And that is an example for me. And I have to say, that's what I tell my clients, but you always say, yeah, you say that because you want us to work with you. But the truth is, I say that the money investment is the part that you have to make in order to bet on your entrepreneur's journey. If you don't bet on it, no one will.
So let me just say is that whenever I hear somebody say something is too expensive, or I don't know if I could find the money, it's not a matter of the money. It is, but it isn't. It's the matter of the value that they think that they could get out of it. If you say to them, listen, I don't have 15,000 shekel, right, to get a coach or a mentor. But you said, you know what, I have a machine across the street that when you put 15,000 shekel into it, you get back 20. They're going to find that money. Why? Because it becomes a priority, because they know the value is very clear. They're seeing people come. Obviously, it doesn't exist, but the illustration there. And so when I hear someone say something about, okay, there's an issue with the value of it, when there's an issue with the money, I hear that there's an issue with the value. So there's two things. Number one is the value of having a mentor at all, or a coach, right? That's just, do I even need one? And number two is, okay, now that I recognize I need one, who is it going to be? So you clearly illustrated how to recognize the person that, who's going to be a mentor when you decide already. You look at their testimonials, you see who they're coaching, you see what space they're in, whatever it is, and then you lower your own risk by making sure that you're qualifying them before you go in. But there's a much wider audience of people that don't even realize that they need a coach. There's a much wider audience of people who don't see the value in a coach. What am I going to pay somebody just to talk to me? Or just like a psychologist? But the fact of the matter is that there are those people that are not, number one, never going to have a coach, right? There's maybe those 5% of those people that are going to be a quick sale. Okay, I know I need a coach. Boom, I'm in, right? And then there's the majority of the people in the middle that need more information. So what I would recommend for those people who are looking for more information, well, do I need a coach? Do I need not need a coach? The internet is full of free information. Coaches, by design, are meant to share their value in order that people recognize their value through blog articles and videos and podcasts and all these different things. Read about it, look them up, read about them, and start to use them as your coach, as your virtual coach.
And see if it fits. See if you're aligned to it. Yeah.
No, not even that. But see if you see value in it.
Right.
See if are you able to work as a better entrepreneur, as a business owner, through the information you're getting through these blog articles and these video podcasts and these workbooks and all these different things that, I mean, you could be on the internet forever, for the rest of your life, learning about how to have a business. Okay. And so once you realize that there's value in it, there's still a question, okay, but these people are not writing for me. They're writing for a wide audience. I have specific needs as characteristics of my business. There's different emotional things that are going on for me. There's different desires, different. I have a different passion. I have whatever. All these things that are unique to the business owner. That's when you say, okay, now I'm ready to get a coach, right, or a mentor, because I need to know how their expertise applies to me and my business specifically.
Exactly. This is really great advice, because that's why I said we are living in a time where there's so much knowledge and information available, that what you just said is great advice. Just start looking for, just like if you were looking for, a person to get married to, look for the right match. But two things, you said, you're right. First, the understanding of, yes, I need a coach or not, and then who is the right coach for me. And I would add to that also that there's something that I went through, which is very powerful, because you know it intellectually, but you don't really know it until you go through it, is the value of what you don't know, you don't know.
Right, that's true.
It's like amazing, every time I'm learning something new from, that mentor and that program, and I'm like, wow, I could never have imagined that I was even missing this information.
Right.
It's not even about everything I know that I can do better, which is great, right, but it's even about the space, which I don't even know I don't know. right? Because
Right.
she has been there. She went through this whole thing, and now she can tell me, watch out, this is the risk, or here, this is what you should do. And I'm like, oh, but I didn't even know I had a problem there, right? And so,
Right.
and I know I'm doing this for my client too at another level. And I'm saying, if you want to grow, and if your business is a serious, enterprise, it's something that you're in for, and it's something that you're not going to stop in 2 years because you're bored or because you have another idea,
Mm-hmm.
then this is like investing in yourself. And I find also that there's an interesting, I know that you and I, well, I'm not sure because you spoke about a store. So I know I'm focusing much more on service-oriented entrepreneurs. You probably also have product-oriented entrepreneurs, right?
I mean, for me, again, I don't have like this, like I don't even have a website for consulting. It's really
Right,
word of mouth. Like
right,
I'm working with somebody who's raising $5 million to build a new school in the Golan, for
right,
instance.
right.
And
So
I'm working for a salon and spa that's
right.
opening.
My
Like,
point is
yeah,
like this. Well, let's take the salon and spa, okay? My
okay,
point is like this. If you want to open a hair salon, right, you're never going to question the fact that you need to invest in blow dryers,
right,
right? You're
right,
never going to question the fact that you need to invest in a sink. Like this is like an
right,
obvious list of
right,
expense in your business plan,
right,
right?
mhm,
And my
right,
point, and so in the service industry, it's even worse because you don't have those expenses. You don't have brick and mortars, expenses, because everything is about what you have in your head, maybe a
right,
website or online marketing, and
right,
that's it. But my point is, when you do open a business or when you want to, start a business, there is no way that you're going to succeed if you don't invest. Like it doesn't work. It takes money to make money. You're never going to be able to blow someone's hair if you don't have a blow dryer. Well,
right,
my point is, if the mentoring and the coaching should be part of those basic expenses, because just like you don't know how to blow dry hair of someone if you don't go to hairdressing school, well, you're not going to know how to grow your business if you don't take someone who's going to teach you. And
right.
I'm the living example that having an MBA is great for your business card, doesn't help at all to be an entrepreneur.
Which is why I'm very happy that I was able to take all the money that you spent on tuition and
Woo, yeah, yeah.
build my
Well,
business.
I'm very
You know
happy
what?
I went because I did have great connections and great networking, and I did learn a lot of frameworks. But in terms of going through an entrepreneur's
Yeah,
journey, it's
yeah,
not the MBA, it's the
no,
coach, it's the
yeah,
consultant, it's the person who's going to be there with you in the trenches and is going to
right.
work with you out of your business. So yeah.
So one of my mentors that I unfortunately haven't met yet is his name is Gary Vaynerchuk.
Okay.
Uh, he's an immigrant to America. He's born in communist Russian states, whatever, and very very successful. He speaks a lot, and he went to an entrepreneurial college or course, and he was asked to speak about entrepreneurship. And so he goes in front of the class and he's talking, da da da, and he goes, by the way, from a raise of hands, how many of you have an idea about what you want to do as opening up a business or whatever, being an entrepreneur? There was about, out of like 100 people in the room, maybe like 30 people raise their hand, like, I have an idea. He's like, get the F out of here. Like, you're not going to learn it in this class. Get out of the class. He's telling the professor's standing right there. He's like, get out of this program. Go. Anyway, so that's funny because, there's no replacement of learning than doing it yourself and also having somebody to fall back on to ask questions. Let me just ask you one last question.
Yes.
Seems like we're running out of time.
Yes.
From your experience as a coach, as a mentor, what percentage of your clients do you receive who are just starting a business, in opposed to how many have already started, have had challenges, have felt like they're struggling, and then they fall back on you?
It's an interesting question. Well, if we go back to the 3 stages that I mentioned before, which is the first stage is you just had an idea, and the second is you need to grow and have sales, and the third is you need to scale. I've actually run the statistics on my clients not too long ago,
Oh,
and I have most equal people that just had an idea and people that want to grow. It's like it's like 30. It's like I would say together it would be like 40%.
okay.
And then I have 60% of businesses that want to scale their business.
Right. Meaning you want to scale their business like they feel like they're stuck.
Well, they feel that our problems grow with our revenue, when we grow a business. And so even if you have high revenues, you still need, again, to make profits, and you need to put money in your pocket and to know how to manage your expenses and your investments, and also to find new revenue streams, which is, the creativity of the entrepreneur to always find new revenue streams. So most of the entrepreneurs that come to me already have a business. They went through the growth stage, the initial growth stage, which is getting a client base, which is they already have clients. And now they're facing how to organize their systems, their workflows, how to hire help, how to make sure they get the right product out, how to, do a campaign without optimizing their expense. So everything is about growing. And I do have to say that people come to me when they already have that level of business. Yeah.
Because my experience is that oftentimes enough, if I end up speaking to somebody in that early stage of the idea, or I'm going to build something, and they see the price tag about, okay, what is it going to take to help? What is it going to take to help me? And I tell them, put together a proposal. We're going to be doing stage 1, 2, and 3, and these are things on the checklist we're going to be going through. And by the end of working with you, you should be able to have X, Y, and Z and be able to do A, B, C.
Right.
And so I'm really about empowering other people. And a lot of times what happens is they say, you know what, let me try it on my own first.
Yes.
and you know what I said? I said, great. I said, number one, it's much better for me if you do end up coming back to me after a year and say, I tried it, I can do it. But at least you're coming with experience and more understanding of the value of what we're doing, than opposed to somebody who is say, okay, let's for a business point of view, is doing consulting and getting revenue from them. It's great when they're like, okay, let's get going, let's move forward. But my best clients are the ones that tried and tested and weren't able to succeed on their own, and they really come with me. And
it's interesting because I'm seeing now that those clients that are coming from for the scaling stage are clients that did go through the rest on their own, or with other people that they weren't happy with. But for those who do want to start with a coach, and they say, well, I don't even have money from my business, how do you want me to now invest into a consultant or into a coach? And I say that borrowing money or taking a business loan for that is the smartest thing that you can do. And I'm not pushing people to borrow money or to get in debt or not to know how to, reimburse their, that's a personal, question that I'm not going to push people if they don't have the means to take a loan. But I've done that. I've taken loans for my business. And I know that, just like I said before, investing in myself in the mentorship program, taking a loan from my business has been the healthiest thing that I can do, because it showed me that I was ready to sign. And the funny thing is that I actually decided to take a loan right after I got clarity on my Born to Do. Because it went together, because I was looking for my Born to Do. I was in my purpose crisis and I wasn't sure. And I was like, should I do this? Should I do that? Once I got clarity on my Born to Do, I said, this is it. This is what I know I want to do. Now I can put a money sign next to it. Now I can go to the bank and take a business loan, because I know this is what I have to do. And so I did it for myself.
Your mindset changed.
Everything changed. It was like, this is it. This is where I belong. And so I'm never advising for debt, obviously, because you need to be sure that you have the right context to do it. But I always say taking a business loan is not like taking a loan to buy a car, because when you buy a car, the money goes to the trash. Right. Exactly. Right. But if you invest in your business, the goal is to bring value, just like you said, and you should not only be able to pay back your loan, but you should be able to make money out of it. So this is something to consider, and this is how much are you ready to invest in yourself and in your Born to Do. That's exactly it.
Great. So we're going to end here.
Yes.
A mentorship, the importance of mentorship, the importance of not living on an island and trying to figure out all your struggles by yourself, and understand that someone's been down the road before, who has hindsight and has wisdom and has the heart to help. Right. And it's just about connecting with somebody like that, whether you pay them or whether you not pay them. it is important, and it will make you the best business person that you could be. It's not going to make your business, but it's going to make you the best business person.
Yes.
So with that being said, Nathalie, it was very, very nice talking to you about what you do for a living,
Thank you, Gedaliah.
which is mentoring people and seeing the value of it, and as well as how to find different resources on the internet and find the person that's good for you.
Yeah,
So,
thank you, Gedaliah. And it's also great to hear how you help people and how you empower them, because when they come to you with help, they know that they're going to take their business to the next level. So great.
Great. Thank you so much. And until next time.
And until next time, bye, Gedaliah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.